All right, we do not have a picture on this one, and that's okay. We don't need one. The picture was just helpful to tell us roughly, like an approximation, how long the line should be, but we don't need it necessarily. So I'm going to call this x1, y1. So that means x1 is -5, y1 is 2. I'm going to call this x2, y2. So x2 is 3 and y2 is -4. So when we set up our formula, it's x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And x2 is 3. x1 is -5. And again, you have to put that -5 there. y2 is -4. y1 is 2. Now, what I was saying before is if you wanted to, you could flip-flop and you could put x1 first. Like you could change this to x1, y1. Sorry, x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. What you just have to be aware of is if you start with red, you need to start with red on this one. And if you end with blue, you need to end with blue on this one, okay? So what ends up happening is we get 3 minus -5 is 8 squared plus -6 squared. So we get 64 plus 36, which is the square root of 100. Well, that's really 10. So our radical, we're not going to write a radical. It's 10. So is this, and so is this. There's no need to make it look more complicated if it all simplifies to 10. Now over here, watch what happens. -5 and -3 is -8 squared, plus 2 minus -4 is 6 squared. What happens is the signs change, but when you square it, it doesn't make a difference. You end up with 64 plus 36, which is square root 100, which is still 10. Okay? So as long as you go blue, blue, red, red, or red, red, blue, blue, it doesn't matter as long as you're consistent. All right. Now, it says find the length of AB, AC, and BC. What that means is if we're finding AB, we need to use these two coordinates. So we're going to go square root of 2 minus -6 squared plus 10 minus 4 squared. So we get 8 squared plus 14 squared. 64 plus 14 squared. 196. I already forgot what that was. So 64 plus 196 is 260, which is about 16.12. So this is AB. Next, we will do, what does it say? AC. So when we do AC, that means we need to use this and this. So we're going to go 2 minus 10 squared plus 10 minus 4 squared. So we get 8 squared plus 14 squared. That looks the same as this. So 64 plus 196. 260. So that means AC is also 16.12. And then last, we're going to do BC. BC. So we've got to use this one and this one. -6 minus 10 squared plus 4 minus 4 squared. -16 in parentheses squared, otherwise it's going to mess things up. And 4 minus 4 is 0. Square root of -16 squared. Is 256. What I was saying is if you don't put it in parentheses, it'll come out as a negative, and that's wrong. That is wrong. So this is 256, which is just 16. These are inverses of one another, so these would really like chunga chunga. So BC is 16. So you're going to work on assignment 9.5 and make sure you check with me or a classmate to know which ones you should or should not do.